Folks, I've been asked about how to maybe do a form in Acrobat, and this comes up from time to time. I've had to do these over the years. I'm going to jump right into it. First, I'm going to show you here on my screen how I have just an InDesign document here. This is Adobe InDesign. It could be Word, it could be any other program where you can create some text and some little blocks and things. And you see I have no fields here. I just have, if I go here to get in the text box, I just have name, first name, last name, no boxes, anything. I did put some little icons here that I could build boxes inside of using Acrobat. So the thing I'm going to do now, since you can see that I've done that, I'm going to actually minimize this, I think. I actually have a form that I created, and so this is my form with nothing in it. In other words, I've not done any editing at all to this form at this point. I'm going to do a Command 0. Command 0 on my Mac or Control 0 will make everything go back down to just a size that will fit on the screen here. So you can see I have there's absolutely nothing here. I've not done anything to this. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. Let me minimize this one for a second. This is one where I've just kind of done a test on it. And I'm going to pull this up into the screen here. I'm going to do a Command 0 on this one as well to bring it down. And so we can see I've made a form here. And so I've got this kind of thing where you've got some fields. The red here means that these are required fields. So let's say I'm going to fill this form out, GLENN. First name is Tony. Email address is tlg@gmail.com. It's not really me. Address is 123 SOME Ware Street. And I don't have an address too. I only put a few states in here. I didn't go and put a whole bunch of them. Let's say I lived in California and the zip was 43523. And let's say I'm going to buy some t-shirts here and I want maybe an extra large. I want to buy extra larges. I didn't make this form like any major scientific way. It's made it so it illustrates some points. Let's say I wanted purple t-shirts and I wanted to have a flag on the front. Maybe I want the France flag. And so what I've done, I've got some functionality built in here. I have some little calculations. Quantity at $12 per item. And I have my $12 quantity in here. And let's say I want to get, I don't know, 12 of them. And I hit tab, and you can see it goes to 12 times 12 is $144. I have 6% tax built in, which would be, what, $8.64. And I've got a hard shipping total of $18. And then a total here of $170.64. I also have a button where I can submit, and I have a reset form button. So I'm going to go ahead and do a reset form at this point and clear everything back out. So how did I get to this? How did I make this form? It works, it functions. If I click on the submit button, it will open up my web mail or whatever mail I have my browser set to go to. Whether it be your Apple Mail or your Gmail or your Outlook if you're using Microsoft products. So let me delete this, or not delete it, but minimize for a minute and go back to the one that's blank. So this one is a PDF that I just exported straight out of InDesign. You can do the same thing with Word. If you've done your layout here in Word, you can do an export PDF, and you can do a PDF right out of Word. You got a PDF, so what you've got, now you have to have the full version of Acrobat to do this. This is Acrobat Pro that I'm using. It comes as part of the Adobe Creative Cloud. I have Adobe Creative Cloud CC 2015, and anyway, you don't have to have that. You can just buy Adobe Acrobat Pro, and you can do this same sort of thing. So you see, there are no fields. But what you do, you go over to Tools, and you go to Prepare Form. And since we already have the form selected, we don't have to scan a document. We'll say Start. It says no new form fields or annotations were detected. That's fine. So now you've got different tools up here, see, where you can put these fields in. So for some of these we'll use text, for some of them we'll use checkboxes, some of them we'll do drop-down menus. Let's say I want to pick a text box to start. I want this to be the last name, so I'm just going to draw a box on here using that tool, right? And I'm going to call this LASTNAME. And it doesn't matter if I capitalize it or not, I can capitalize that name. And I'm going to say, I'm going to click here on All Properties. Let's see if it lets me go into it. Yes, there it does. And so this is just going to be a visible field. And you have different things you can do here. You have the appearance where you can make the font bigger, different font. You can change position, but I'd rather just drag it when I do that. You have options for aligning and checking spelling and all that. Actions where you make it do things. We're not going to do anything with that yet. Format. validate, calculate. We'll go over some of these things later. I'm just going to go to general for right now. And yeah, I want this probably to be visible, but it doesn't print. Maybe that's a good thing. It means we'll see it. I do want it to be required. So here's required button, so I can tell this thing to be required. I'm going to say close. Now we could do this for every single one of these fields. We could go up here and grab this box and we can start doing this. Or we can kind of group do them. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of go the faster way. I'm going to right click here and pick a text field. So this is first name. And I'm going to put it here. I'm just going to call it first name. I'm not going to go into properties just yet on this one. So we can zoom back over here a little bit, my bad. I'm going to right click again here for email address, text field. These are all going to be text fields, and that might be a little longer, sometimes it might be real long. But let's go ahead and type in email. That's a good thing. I keep hitting my little slider on my mouse. And I'm going to do address. Didn't do it, did I? I had to right click and say text box, and now I can do it. Let's give them a good long bit here for the text. We'll call this ADDRE address 1. Okay, and we'll have this one be address 2. Right click and text field. Address 2. ADDRE 2. Okay. Now here's where we got something a little different. First of all, let's go back there and format these. I kind of want this one, and this one to be required, but I don't want this one to be required because not everyone has a second address. So I'm going to kind of draw a circle around all these, and you can see I have them highlighted. You can see that they're blue here. But what's interesting is it'll kind of freak you out. You won't think you're actually changing all of them, but you can right click here and do properties. You can tell them all to be required, and then say close. Or you can also tell them all to be visible but doesn't print. Okay, so I'll say close. And now, so you see they're all required now because they're all red. And let's just test one of them I didn't have, and let's go to properties, and you can see it is visible, it doesn't print. So you can do multiples of these. You don't have to go in every single time and set all these things. Now state's going to be a little bit different, right? We're probably going to want to have a drop down box for this. So here's the drop down. I can either select it up here, or I can just right click again, and I can say drop down box. And now right, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to put something for a state. And we can put, I'm going to call it state. I'm going to hit on all properties on this one, and this is going to be required field. And this one though, we're going to have some options, right? We're going to have items. So I'm going to say item, I'm going to say ALABAMA. It's spelled right, ALABAMA. And we'll say export value will be ALABAMA, and item list, ALO, we'll say add. Okay, here we go. There we go. Oh, very good. All right, now we've got that one. Let's do another one. Let's do ALASKA and ALASKA, and let's say add here. So now we got 2 in the list. See them here, 2 right here. And let's see, what's another one? Arkansas, ARKANSAS. Now, what you could do, you can get you a list of these somewhere. You can go online and get a list of states. ARKANSAS. The export value could be, you know, AK or whatever, however you want to do it. I'm just putting 3 of them in, and you can pick, it says select an item to make it the default choice. I'm going to go ahead and pick Alabama. So it's going to be the default when it comes up. All right, so I'm going to say close. So now I've got a state thing where you click on it and it's going to pop down. You can see a little arrow here that indicates that. I'm going to have a zip code. I'm going to go ahead and right click here and I'm going to say text field again. You think, well, the zip code is going to be a number, right? Well, that's okay. Go click on properties and we'll call it zip code. I forgot to put it in here. IPCODE. And we're going to go over to format and we're going to tell it to be a number. So there we go. And we can, since zip codes don't have decimals, I usually take us back to 0. You don't want to have 28647.32. No, that could be a mistake. Let's just have it be 0 decimal points. And here we got close down at the bottom here. We'll close that. Now we got shirt sizes, and here's where we might pick these little check boxes like this. You can either click on this and do one, and it gives you a nice little shadowy thing there you can do. And again, we could go here and do the properties, and we could say visible but doesn't print. You know, I think that's fine. I don't want the extra box to print, but, and we'll call this one small, SMALL, and we'll say close. Now, folks, to save us time, I'm not going to go on and put the rest of these in here, but I would put a small one, a medium one, a large one, and an XL, and an XXL. Then I'll get over this very same process to do the colors. I'm going to do a checkbox here, and I'm going to draw this in. This time I just right-clicked on it. I'm going to make a blue, BLUE. Okay, and I could go in there and mess with the properties I want to, flag nationality. Let me right click here on Germany and I'll put a checkbox in here. So these are all checkboxes. We just check this to relay data. We're not calculating anything, and we'll call this GERMANY. Okay, so now we come to where we're going to start doing some math. Okay, we're going to start actually making some data here. So these are quantity at $12 per item. At this point, we want to have some calculations in here, and we're going to have a quantity, we want to have the price, and we want to have the subtotal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to say text field, and I'm going to put in here, this is going to be my quantity. So the QUANTITY. We'll go to all properties, we're going to make it a number. A number, we're not going to get half a shirts or a decimal of shirts, we'll say 0 there. And there we go. Say general, it will say quantity, and that's okay. And we'll let it be visible. What the heck? We'll say close. And now we want to have a multiple. We know it's going to be $12 per item. So I'm going to right click again. I'm going to put another text field right here. And this will be my price. PRICE. And we'll have all properties. And we'll have format, and we'll pick a number, and we'll make sure we've got currency symbol. Let's go ahead and use dollar. And we could have a percentage or a decimal here because we do have decimals. But I'm just going to say close. It's all right. It's going to come in at $12. Well, actually it didn't. Let's go back and do properties again. I messed up because we need to have a default price. So I'm going to go to options. Default price is going to be $12, right? So we'll say close. All right, so you can see we have $12, and I can see that $12 isn't going to fit really well in there. So I'm probably going to go back and do properties one last time and go to appearance. Let's pick a font size of like 9. We'll say close. So now we got a 9 point, and it fits nicely into the hole. Now we need to have this times this, don't we? So now we do a little calculate, and we're going to do another text field, and I'm going to pull this out to here. And we'll say this is going to be subtotal, BTOTAL, and we'll say all properties. And we're going to go to format, and we want a number again. Yes. And we want the $sign, that's true. At decimal places is okay, that's all right. But now we want to calculate. And so now what we want is the value is the sum. And it's not actually the sum, we want the product. In other words, we want the times. See the little X there? And we're going to pick what we want to be the times of, right? So I'm going to pick, I want it to be the times of quantity and price, right? So we'll say, okay, so now it's going to take this times this equals this. And we'll say close. And now we're going to add the good old tax that we have to have. And so we're going to put another text field in here. And we know that tax is going to be, let's see, let's make it 7% or whatever, right? 6% on the other. Call it tax amount, AMOUNT. All right, and we'll say all properties, and we'll make sure it is a number. And now this one, it could be a currency symbol. I don't think we have to have this. It's going to be more of a percentage. Decimal places 2, and let's go to our options again, and this is going to be our option will be like 0.07. Let's say we got 7% tax, okay? And we'll say close. And now we want to have our actual tax. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to say text field. And so now I'm going to pull this out, and this will be our tax, TAX total. Okay, I'm going to hit all properties on that. We're going to format that as a number, and we're going to say calculate, and let's go back to that for a second. Format, we do want currency on this one, probably dollars, and our decimal places 2 is fine. We'll do calculate, and so this is the This is the product of, and we pick. So now we're going to pick the product of subtotal, right, times tax amount. Okay. So we're going to say this times this equals this. And then we're going to put a shipping total in. So I'm going to go here. First of all, I should close this. Now I'm going to do another text field. And we're going to put this here, and this is going to be our shipping. And let's say I'd say that it costs $20 to ship, no matter where it's going to go to. And so I'm just going to do this way because, you know, there's going to be format. It's going to be a number, and it's going to be have a $sign, so everything's right. 2 spaces, and our calculations. This is going to be a sum, not a times, right? This is not going to be a product. So this time we got the plus. So I need the sum of price, of tax total, and shipping. So we're going to take sum of price, we're going to take tax total, there we go, and we're going to take shipping, right? Here's shipping. I'm going to say okay. So we should be okay here, and we see, okay, that shouldn't be showing this. I don't have a quantity in here. So why are we showing a total? Oh, because we are, what? Looking at 7/10 of something of prices. Oh, what have we got here? Okay, I don't want price, I want subtotal. Okay, let's fix this again. Because I messed up, I don't want price, I want subtotal, my bad. So I'll take price out, put subtotal in, and we'll say okay. And now we see we got $22 shipping on any order that goes out. And so we'll see here that when we put the quantities in here, it should all calculate for us. So I'm going to say close. And I'm going to do file, save as. We'll do this, and we'll call this one. I'm going to save it to the desktop. And I'm going to call this customer PDF 3. And we'll say save. Okay, now I'm going to close this one out somewhere here. And so here is number 3, and we'll just open it up. And now it's going to come up in a non-editing mode, but actually in a fill it out kind of mode, right? A fillable out mode. And you see I haven't put all these in here because we did that. We didn't put the whole thing here, but the main thing is these are my required fields. Of course, zip should be required too. I can go back in here and fix that later, but I can choose whatever I want it to be. And I can go in here and I can say 7, I hit tab, and everything calculates out. So let's say that we did want to come in here. Let's say that we want to put a submit button on here, right? This is the last thing that we've not done. I'm going to close this again just to zero everything out and say don't save, because that actually would save if I were to do that. We'll do the Control-0 again to do this. Now I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to say Edit PDF. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some text here. And I'm going to say click here to submit. C-L-I-C-K here to S-U-B-M-I-T. And let's pull this out a little bit. So I've got some text here. I'm going to put another text over here that says click here to reset. C-L-I-C-K-H-E-R-E to R-E-S-E-T. Now, folks, you can see I'm not aligned with either one of these. Should be able to, what here? Let's do edit again. Draw around this. I think I can go here and do align objects. Try it again. Align objects to top. Boom, now they're all aligned. Now, what do I have here? I have this text at this point. I could center this text if I wanted to. There's one over here, so you click that. And I can center this text as well. But now I need the submit button. So I've been in edit PDF. Now I want to go back over to form, right? Prepare form. And now I need some buttons. And so you see here you have the button, the OK button right here. Or you can just right click again down here and you can pick the button. And so now I'm going to draw a button here. This is going to be a blue or gray button or whatever like that. This is my submit, S-U-B-M-I-T. And we'll go to all properties. Now we're going to tell this to submit, right? So we're going to go now to actions. And we're going to say on mouse up. In other words, you press down, and when you let up on your mouse, you're going to, what? We're not going to execute a menu item. We're going to submit a form. Okay, and then we're going to say, we're going to add. And this is going to be submit form sections. Enter a URL for this link. And we can pick different things in here, but usually when you're doing say send this as an email, the PDF is an email, you're going to do mail to, M-A-I-L-T-O. So you put a mail to command in and you put a colon. Then I'm going to say Tony, L-E-E-G-L-E-N-N at gmail.com. That is my email for my business and stuff. And I can either send an FDF, which is just a data file that can fill in a form, or I can send an HTML. But the thing I usually do, I just like to do it, let's get a full PDF. So I'm going to click PDF. And so now what's going to happen when they do the mouse up, it's going to, we're going to click on the button. It's going to do, when I let go of the mouse, it's going to submit the form to the email that I just put in there. So I'm going to say close. And now I'm going to make another button over here, just in case you mess up and you want to reset the whole thing, right? So I'm going to put another button in. We're going to put that one right here. And this will be a reset button. And I'm going to call this reset, R-E-S-E-T. And we'll do all properties. And this time we're going to say we're going to reset a form on mouse up. We're going to add that. And when I do the add, it shows you can actually tell it to reset just certain things or all of them. And if we do that, we've got all of them. So I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to close. I'm going to save one more time. And I'm going to close the whole thing. And so now I have our form back up. And if I wanted to, I could go in here and fill this out. G-L-E-N-N, first name Tony, T-O-N-Y, email address, blah, blah, blah. It can be whatever we want it to be. We can go fill the rest of this out. I won't belabor the point. We'll go back down here though. We know that we want to get maybe 14 of these t-shirts this time. And now it's going to calculate all of it. I can click here to submit, or I can reset. You see I reset everything. Let's go back here and let's say I want 12 of them now and 176 bucks. And now I click here to submit. And this document is trying to connect to mail to, and let's allow it to do that. At least one field. Okay, that's telling me my required fields aren't filled out. So let's put G, T. I'm just putting something in here to fill up something. So we got required fields. And didn't have to be there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and I think we got everything that would be required. Now we can click submit. And now we'll allow it to open up our email, and it's preparing to send a message. There we go. It's creating the draft message. It's going to open up my Gmail. And here we go. Here's my Gmail. Let's pull this up where we can look at it. And here is where it's getting ready to send the form. And I can look, I guess, at the PDF and see what it's done. It's going to put it in a folder here. We can do a show and finder and let's take a peep at it. So here it is, and we see that it's got all the stuff that I filled out, and it's got the, so it's getting ready to submit, to send that completed PDF over to our person. So I'm going to hit send, and it's going to go to TonyLeeGlenn@gmail.com. At least it should, and make sure I hit send. Okay, there we go. And now in my inbox, I should have an email from myself. Me, form returned, and there it is. And here it is. I can do a download again. And I've just opened it up over here. It just showed up in the folder. And here it is. And there it is, all completed. Folks, I hope that's helped somebody who's trying to do a submittable PDF. I know I went kind of more in depth than you cared to go into, but hopefully I've showed you some of the functionality that you have there. It takes a little bit of thought, takes a little bit of work, but it works really well. One thing I will say is, if you have an old version of Acrobat Reader, you won't be able to fill this out if you're using like version 8 or 9. I think it's 10 or 11 or Acrobat DC, whatever it is, just your customers or whatever they're filling out. You might want to tell them they'll have to upgrade to a fairly modern version of Acrobat Reader. Some browsers this works well inside of, or doesn't if you have the PDF coming down as a link out of a web page. And it's coming out of, I don't know, Firefox, it might not work as well as it does in Chrome or whatever. There are some issues. It's not the easiest thing, but if you're putting it there, you make a right click where you download it, and they're just playing off their desktop or something, their PDF. They should be able to fill it out. It would go to their email client, and it would send a completed email with a PDF embedded to you. So this is a way that you can do a form. There's a lot of different applications for this too. It doesn't have to just be an order form or something. It could be just data you're trying to receive from a client or something. You'd like them to give you some numbers that you can crunch, and you can do it inside of the PDF. It's pretty convenient, pretty cool, and there's a lot of usages for it. Peace to all who watch this. If you have any additional questions, let me know. I'll try to help out. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like.